You're 18 years old and you put just $200 a month into an investment account. By the time you retire without adding another dollar after age 40, you're likely to have over $1 million. Now let's say you wait until you're 30 to start investing the same $200 a month. You won't hit $1 million until your late 60s. And if you wait until you're 40, let's just say the gap is too massive. And the crazy part is that most people don't realize how much time is their biggest asset until it's too late. Today I'm going to break this down in a way that will either make you feel really smart or really frustrated that no one told you this sooner. For those who don't know me, I've been investing for over 15 years now. I've made almost every investing mistake you can think of, and I make these videos so you don't make those mistakes. Anyway, let's break this down with the real numbers. Imagine three people, Mark, Sam, and Taylor. Mark starts investing at 18 and puts just $200 per month. By the time he's 65, he has over $2 million. But here's the crazy part. He only contributed $112,000 in total. The rest? That's compound interest working its magic for 47 years. Now let's look at Sam. He waits until 30 to start investing the same $200 per month. By 65, his account grew to just over $650,000. You see the difference, right? Waiting just 12 years cost him over $1.3 million. And then there's Taylor, who starts at 40. She also invests $200 a month. By age 65, she only has $236,000, a massive drop from Mark and still far behind Sam. Here's what it means. The biggest factor in building wealth isn't just how much you invest, it's also how early you start. If you're still in your 20s, take this seriously. You still have time on your side. And if you're starting late, don't worry, we'll talk about how to play catch up in just a minute. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. I get it that starting early is better, but what if I don't have the money right now? That hesitation is what keeps so many people stuck on the sidelines. But here's the cold, hard truth. It's not how much you start with, it's about the fact that you start at all. Even tiny investments as little as $50 or $100 a month can set you miles ahead of someone who keeps waiting for the perfect time to invest. Let's take a look at Mark again, the 18-year-old in our example. What if he only had half as much to invest, just $100 a month instead of $200? He would still end up with over $1 million by the time he reaches 65. That's the power of time multiplying your money for you. But realistically, as you get older, your income grows. And if you simply increase your investments as your income increases, you'll come out far ahead of most people without needing to make extreme sacrifices. But what if you wait? What if you put it off? That's where things get painful. Time does the heavy lifting when you start early. But when you start late, that's when you do the heavy lifting. Let's go back to Taylor, who waited until 40 to start investing. If she wanted the same $2 million nest egg that Mark built, she wouldn't get there by investing only $200 a month, not even close. Instead, she would have to crank it up to $1,700 a month just to make up for the lost time. That's a massive difference. It's not just about money anymore. It's also about how much harder and how much more stressful the journey becomes if you wait longer. So what are your options if you indeed are in Taylor's shoes? What if you start investing later than planned? Right now, if Taylor sticks with $200 per month, she is looking at $236,000 nest egg by retirement. So, using the 4% rule, she could safely withdraw $9,400 per year, or about $786 per month, adjusted for inflation, of course. That's a nice supplement, but not nearly enough to retire on. But what if she pushes herself to invest, let's say, $500 a month instead? Now, instead of $236,000, she could end up with roughly $590,000. And with that, her monthly withdrawals jump to about $2,000. Suddenly, things look a lot better. Now let's take it a step further. What if she invests even more, let's say $1,000 a month? Her retirement savings would climb to around $1.1 million, meaning she could withdraw $3,900 per month. Now that's a game changer compared to just sticking with $200 a month. Here's the key takeaway. You need to reverse engineer your retirement plan. Instead of saving blindly, figure out how much monthly income you'll need in retirement and then work backwards. If you want $5,000 a month in retirement, you will need a mix of investments plus Social Security plus any other sources of income. For example, if your investment income generates $4,000 per month and your Social Security covers $1,000 per month, you're covered if your expenses are $5,000. But if your expenses outpace your income, this is your window to make adjustments. Taylor has 25 years to change her outcome. Now let's quickly talk about Social Security because a lot of people panic whether it will even be around. The reality, well, Social Security is funded by your payroll taxes, meaning as long as people are working, it's it's getting funded. The benefits may change. The benefits will likely change, but it's unlikely that Social Security will disappear. That said, let's be realistic about how much it can provide. As of 2023, the average monthly Social Security benefit at age 65 was $1,525. Let's plug that into Taylor's situation. If she only has $236,000 and can withdraw $786 per month, adding $1,525 from Social Security brings her total to $2,100 per month. Now, depending on her expenses, that might work or it might not. This is where you need to do the math and figure out the numbers for your situation. You can go to the Social Security benefits website and figure out how much you'll be getting from Social Security. Even if retirement is decades away, knowing your numbers gives you the time to course correct. Another option for Taylor or anyone playing catch-up is to work 2 or 3 additional years. Those couple of years can have a big impact. For every year Taylor delays taking Social Security past 65, her monthly benefits increase by roughly 8%. But it's not just about Social Security. These extra working years allows her to continue contributing to her investments, letting her money grow while delaying withdrawals. That alone could add tens of thousands of dollars to the nest egg. And here's another option. Even if she does not want to work full-time, part-time work or consulting could significantly reduce the amount of money she needs to withdraw from her savings. If she earns just $1,000 a month from working part-time, that's $12,000 less she will need to pull from her investments. Now, there's something we haven't touched, and I skipped over it intentionally to keep the numbers simple. When you withdraw money from a traditional 401k or an IRA, that money isn't tax-free. It's taxed as ordinary income in retirement. That means that if Taylor has $590,000 in a traditional 401k and withdraws, let's say $50,000 per year, she could be looking at a tax bill of $5,000 to $10,000 annually, depending on her tax bracket. But if part of that money was in a Roth IRA or a Roth 401k, she could withdraw it completely tax-free. That's why tax planning is just as important as investing itself. One last thing I would like to mention that really applies to all age groups, whether you're 18, 30, or 40. Whatever your retirement plan is, always expect the unexpected. Even the best laid out retirement plans can get thrown off course. Life happens, and if you don't have a backup plan, unexpected expenses can wipe out years of careful saving. And one of the biggest threats is healthcare, because Medicare does not cover everything. And long-term care, whether it's a nursing home, assisted living, or in-home care, it could potentially drain out savings faster. Then there's the stock market. If you retire right before a downturn and start selling investments at a loss, your portfolio could shrink faster than expected, making it harder to recover. So expect the unexpected. Things happen. Things do happen. Whether you're 18, 30, or 40 years old, take retirement seriously, because waiting does not make the problem go away. It just makes it more expensive. And look, I get it. Thinking about retirement when you've got bills to pay, you've got rent, and maybe even that impulse Amazon purchase from last night staring at you. It's not easy. But start where you can, make small adjustments, and keep stacking those investments.